Hey, Amy Rebecca here at Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group. It is Employee Appreciation Day, and it really couldn't be a better national day to fall here at Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group in Women's History Month, because we tend to have team members who are women and we help women. So it sort of just works out. So this year I thought I would do Employee Appreciation Day a little bit different, and I would interview each of my team members and talk to them a little bit about themselves and share with you all what I love so much about each of them. So we are interviewing Miriam Viteri right now in this particular bit, if you're watching, and I'm really excited. Miriam, I would love for you to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Miriam. I'm the first person you talk to when you call Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group. Basically, if you have any questions, I'm the first person you get in contact with to ask all the questions.
She is like the welcome director, the coordinator of happiness when you come to my firm, whether it's in person or on the phone or even online. She is also the first communication you'll get probably online from us as well. Oh, and by the way, she is also like scheduler extraordinaire. So she helps coordinate our schedule here at Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group. And so Miriam, I'd love to hear a little bit about, why did you want to work for Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group? So she's, by the way, just to kind of the background, she's been here a half a year now. I don't know if you realize this, but you're coming up on your 6-month anniversary with us. If you can remember way back when, 6 months ago, why?
Why? Yes. So I was going through a major life change, a little shift, and in every way possible. And I always loved law. I worked in law firms before. I love to research before I apply anywhere. And when I found out what Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group does and what they represent and who they're trying to help, it really caught my eye. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, if I could just get an interview, that would be great. Because I've always thought women need women, like no matter what. The relationship between women is so important, and in a productive way, in a constructive way, not in a tearing down, not competition. And, everywhere you go, you kind of see that there's always like some tension between women. But then here's this firm that's like promoting a healthy environment for women, promoting togetherness in the community. And so I was like, I was already like, okay, this is where I want to be. But then I found out more about what exactly they do here. And that even caught my attention even more, because I was like, okay, we're helping women put together a plan and like make sure that they're heard. And, with my past life experiences, that meant so much to me. And I don't even necessarily needed a trust or will at the time. But I just love that I work somewhere that's their mission, is to help women. And then we have male clients. And yeah.
I always say I love men. I'll help them too.
We love men. Yeah, we love men, but we love our women too. So
absolutely. So and this is kind of a funny question, I guess, to ask you. I'm your boss. Here, I'm sitting here interviewing you, recording you. What do you think you've learned about, just like the process of helping women? Like, what has surprised you about how we help women, or the process of women helping women?
What has surprised me is how detailed that we can get. And I think it surprises our clients too. And because when they call, they're like, yeah, I just have some questions. And then I'm like, yeah, we hear these questions all the time. Like, those are valid questions. The way you feel is valid. we've worked with this before. Like, you don't have to, you know, be scared or anything like that, because we're here for you. Like, even if you don't want to engage with us, like, we're still here. You can call us, you can follow up with us, we'll follow up with you. And that, like, I really liked that. And I really learned from that already, because I just never saw that anywhere else, you know, like that like detailness. So how we help and how detailed we get when we put together these estate plans for our clients.
Yeah, and I think people genuinely connect with you because you're so genuine on the phone with them. And like, you know, like your curiosity about that, it like comes through to the clients, because they'll share it with me, you know. And I think that that's why you're like one of the perfect people to like greet them into our world. You know, it's sort of like, hey, I'm curious too. Let's go. You know, like it's like, let's do this.
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's go. So, you know, in connecting with you, you know, I think that people are always curious about who people are, right? And so I'd love for you, you know, to just share a little bit about who you are sort of outside of work. Because I think you're the same person. I think you're like, who you are every day when you show up is pretty close to who you are outside. But I think that it would be you know, nice to hear, like, what is it that you love? What are your passions?
Yeah. So kind of on the education side, I majored in psychology, and that is like, oh, I love psychology probably as much as I love law, like both. And they do go hand in hand. So love psych. I try to keep, you know, myself as up to date in research on psychology in my spare time. I love reading. I have a Labrador. He is my baby, my fur baby. And we go hiking a lot, love being out in nature. I love reading in nature. So I'll take my books, instead of being in my living room, I'll take them out into a mountain or something, just sit there for hours. And then, yeah, I love writing. I think that comes from my reading. And I'm currently writing a poetry short book. It's called a chapbook, because I think the significance of words in poetry is so powerful. And I come from a family of immigrants. I was born in San Antonio, Texas. And that to me is super special. And I think if I can write something that someone can remotely relate to, and can be like, oh my gosh, me too. I also feel that way. Or, wow, I thought I was the only person that ever felt this way, or that, you know, this happened to. It's like, no, we're all here for you. Like, if that is like my goal, to like have people not feel alone with my writing. So I work on that. I'm working really hard on that right now.
Yeah. Well, one day we hope we can support that. Like, maybe we can help you launch your book. Well, is there anything that you think people should know about you? You know, like, even if it's something quirky, like, you know, what's your favorite dessert, or, you know, something quirky that like you don't think people know about you that might be kind of fun or interesting?
Yeah. I get asked, like, when people ask me, what's your favorite food? It's like, initially, I think pasta, because I love pasta. But really, I love potatoes, because you can do anything with potatoes. Like, potatoes, you can make French fries, you can make hash browns, you can make mashed potatoes, like anything. Potatoes are such a nice food, because they're so, I don't know, I think that's kind of weird. People don't usually say, like, my favorite food is potato. But
well, yeah, it's like that might sound kind of funny, but you're right. It's like, well, I think of potatoes, and when I think of recipes with potatoes, I think of comfort food too.
Yes.
Right? Like mashed potatoes.
Like,
baked
nothing
potato.
can go wrong. Yeah, everything's okay when you eat mashed potatoes.
Right.
Know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's
I
kind
can
of
see that.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I learned something new about you.
Yeah, love potatoes.
Now there could be some jokes coming your way about this. Not gonna sit there even gloss over that one.
I'm sure.
There could be a coffee mug at some point.
Yeah, Lori already makes fun of me for loving plants. I have so many plants here.
She does, ladies and gentlemen. I go in my office when I'll go into the office and I'll see little plants by my window. And she's like, they're just living there for a few days, but there's always new ones and more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. And I know I took you a little bit off or by surprise by asking you to do this, but I really appreciate it. And honestly, I think that you're such a valuable team member here at Atlanta Wilson Trust Law Group. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew you just a little bit more. So I certainly appreciate you doing this.
And I love being here.
Well, we love having you. So, folks, if you call into the office and you are greeted, this is Miriam. That's who is more likely than not going to be on the other end of this phone. And so make sure you say hello to her and look out for our other videos highlighting our other team members at Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group. And we are signing off.